Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. I would like to actually start shipping some products out to Alexandria and Fort Lauderdale. On a closer look, Fort Lauderdale wants machines, tools, and construction. Now, I had to come along and set down these truck unload stops because I would need them in order to get the tools and machines to Fort Lauderdale for train pickup and drop off. I went ahead and done that. Right now, our Fort Lauderdale is hooked up, dropping machines off, which is perfectly fine. Now let's head down to Alexandria. Alexandria wants just construction and tools, which is great. If you take a look, I do have a line coming out of Miramar for this one, and I do have a line coming out of Des Moines to service Fort Lauderdale. The biggest question that I need to figure out is, do I want to use the Sioux Falls Tool Factory down here, which is 1 steel to 2 tools, or do I want to ship my planks, which I have over 200 in production from Miramar, up to the Durham Tools Factory by train? If you take a look, the closest steel mill that I have actually working in production right now is the Lakewood Steel Mill. Now you can see how production's way off. We have 4 iron and 4,000 coal. Let me go ahead and fix that really fast. We'll go to line 23, which you can see it's making $1.4 million, which is fantastic. And I think first step is to replace all the vehicles. Now I want to go with the cover trucks for $6.2 million. And you'll see it later down the road when we get that far why I selected those. I want to add 5 more additional vehicles to this line to increase the overall production of iron to the steel mill. Now we are going to select the Fort Lauderdale coal line, which is line 22. We're going to come in here. We're going to replace all 30 vehicles, right? With the same thing, the cover truck for $7 million. Now I want to reduce the number of vehicles on this particular line because I want to offset the total number of iron versus coal coming to the steel plant. Right now, currently, line 21 has a current total of 64 units of steel being transported. Let's see if we can get the planks online here. Now, here's my dilemma with the planks. If you take a look, our routing is a little bit screwy, okay? In order to get planks into Miramar, they'd have to come all the way back down, all the way back up by this Miramar oil well, and then go into the city. I don't really want to do that. I want to put on somewhat of a curve so it looks proper, and this will actually change the way the vehicles will get to Lucas Street, which is over here, which is our cargo terminal. As you can see, we have line 15 Miramar food delivery overloaded. Which, before we do the other, let's fix this really quickly because I don't want to be losing products. Let's do something like this to keep it from overloading. We have 200 in production. Now, here's something that's interesting. This sawmill is not going to produce any planks. Let me explain why that is. Until we get a vehicle on line 36 to run from the College Street station down to the Durham Tool Factory, that factory is not going to produce. So let's do that. Now, here's a tip and trick for what I will do is I'll use the cover haul and I'll only buy 1. And I will set this on line 36. Okay. You don't have to buy a lot of vehicles in order to get a manufacturer to start producing products. And there you go. Now, here's the other issue. The other thing you'll find right now, currently, we have a crap ton of bricks. I call them bricks. They're construction material, by the way, on our platform right now, right? If we go and take a look at the Des Moines to Miramar line and we manage the vehicle, well, I would like to reduce the number of fuel tanks and the number of box cars and put more flat cars on this train. And I'll explain here in just a second what I'm up to. Okay. The other problem I'm going to run into, besides the $3.7 million to do it, is the line itself. If we take a look at the line and we take a look at the Locust Street station, you can see that it's picking up 100% of our brick or construction. You're going to hear me say brick a lot, so prepare. So what we need to do is set the ratio for a 50-50 ratio. This way it picks up 50% of the construction and 50% of the planks to start shipping it up to Des Moines. Coming to line 13 here, you can manage the line and you can actually, not the line itself, but the vehicles, and sell some of them off. This will reduce the number of rate of product being shipped. Right now, currently, there's a capable of transporting 160 construction, and we don't really necessarily want that because we're already overloaded. We're going to drop it down to 32 for now and see how that helps us out. Now, if we come back up to Des Moines, we're going to have the same issue with this line 10, which is the Des Moines to Miramar. Actually, I apologize. That's not the correct line. I take that back. Line 7, Des Moines to Durham. We're going to have the exact same issue up here. So let's take a look at the train. Now, however, if we go and we take a look at actual line configuration or manage the line, we are in the same problem here at 11th Street. The train wants to pick up 100% of the load of construction only. Set a 50-50 ratio, and now we should be able to pick up construction and planks and ship it up to Durham. If you take a look at the actual cargo hub in Des Moines, we have multiple lines coming in and out of this location at this time. I believe it's line number 8. Yes. I want to now put a train on line number 8, Des Moines to Fort Lauderdale. I think this would be the time to do it. But before I go that far, let's head back up to Durham and check on our tools. Okay, so this tells me right here that I need to increase the number of planks on this line, because we have, a total of 12 tools currently. Lucas Street, what I'm going to do is turn down the construction material to 20%, and I'm going to increase the actual planks to 80% for pickup. That was the passenger train. I thought that was the cargo train, but never mind. Let's head up to Des Moines and do the exact same thing. Okay, as you can see, I fixed that line as well. Now I think it's time to buy a train. Okay, so we need to first stop and look at this. What does Fort Lauderdale really want? They want machines, tools, and construction, right? So basically, any one of the cargo trains we currently have, we could actually duplicate and put out on line 8. So let's do that. Let's grab 1831. We'll manage vehicles. I see it's losing us money, but whatever. I'm not worried about it. We'll go and duplicate that vehicle, and we will select it and now put it out on line number 8, which is Des Moines to Fort Lauderdale. We'll come in, we'll assign a random number, and now we have a train out on the Des Moines to Fort Lauderdale line. And here comes the train now. This train should be able to handle everything that we need to pick up. It has fuel tanks, it has flat cars, and it has box cars all on it. We should be good to go. I don't think that's going to pose a problem, so we'll let it be. Now, the problem when this train approaches Fort Lauderdale, nothing is going to be on the platform, nothing is going to be shipped, and this is where I said I was going to get to the number 1 issue. Okay, so if we pan out here, and we're, as you can see clearly in Fort Lauderdale, this is where I'm going to have to start setting up the lines and start crisscrossing stuff. Let's go to line 20, which is technically starting from the plank factory, going to the machine factory, coming to 5th Street. And now I want to manage the line. I want to go down to the end, and I want to add a station, and I want to add it right here. Now I want to tell it, hey, look, I know you're dropping machines off on 5th. Can you please drop off some machines now at the train station? Now this truck's going to come down, and it should start dropping off machines here as well. And would you take a look at this? Row Vehicle 249 is heading through the city now and is about to drop off our machine at the train station. Now I need to do the same thing going in the reverse order, which I need to set up a line to bring tools. Now, if you did find this helpful in any way, please consider hitting the like button. Please consider subscribing. Both of those are greatly appreciated. And now what I'm going to do is just simply set up a line that comes out of the Fort Lauderdale cargo hub, and it's going to go over to 5th Street Tools. I'll set up this line and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we have line 37. It is set up. Now I'm just going to set one vehicle out. And this vehicle can handle tools, which is great. It's $290,000, but I mean, come on. We have $1.3 billion. I don't think I could, even if I tried, I don't think I can spend all this money at this point. Okay, so now tools will be dropped off at the train terminal and be hauled into the city. Well, that's the plan anyway. One of the things I think we should address immediately is the overcrowding of the College Street cargo hub. Unfortunately, in order to do this, we're going to have to destroy a few buildings. Wow, that was costly. And that was costly. And since I can fit a third one in there, I might as well, right? So that actually fixes the overcrowding of this cargo hub, which is a good thing. Now I'm just sitting here waiting for tools to show up on this platform. As soon as they do, I will be back. You know, why I sit here and wait and think about that? Why don't we actually come back over here? We're having an issue with all the alcohol sitting on the platform, like we were having the issue in Miramar with all the construction material. Yeah. And what I want to do is reduce the number of vehicles on the line. Just as I did before, to slow down the rate of alcohol coming to the platform in hopes that we can get other things shipped. Now, one thing I did not take a look at, and the cargo train just arrived, is the fact of the amount of alcohol is shipping on this line. Let's take a look at that. If we go back to line number 7 and we manage line from the College Street station, this is all ran by boxcars basically. Alcohol is 100%. I'm going to reduce that down to like say 20%. And as far as the tools, they can be at 80% shipment for now. And that will fix that problem, hopefully. Well, Vehicle 117 has picked up 14 tools. My question is, why is it not lining out on the platform for the train to pick up? The only thing I can think of is that I know that Durham wants tools as well. So let's take a look at the percentage that they're getting. They want 44 tools. Okay, that is a significant issue. As I pan down here and I look at the train platform, we still have no tools because what's happening is Durham is eating up all the tools. And it just made me a liar. Did you see that? It just put one tool out on the platform. Okay, we're good there. Now the question is, are they actually shipping machines to Des Moines? Let's go find out. And yes, indeed, they are actually shipping machines to Des Moines. Des Moines has 25 of 63 they're looking for. Now, here's the only thing that we have not addressed in this episode. We have not dealt with Alexandria yet. Let's go and work on that. I find this is an interesting development. First, it was construction. Now it's actually fuel that is overloading our platform here in Miramar. So you already know what my plan is to fix that, right? And that is to come down here and select line 17, which is our oil refinery. And we're going to actually get that fixed right away. I'm going to go into manage vehicles. And what I would like to do in this particular case is select all of them and actually take all of them off but 4 vehicles. This should actually fix some of the problems. We'll also need to upgrade these vehicles as well. I'd like to come and manage the vehicle, and I would like to add a couple extra fuel cars on it and take a couple of the flat cars away, since we're obviously not worrying about construction right now. That has resolved itself. Go back to the initial 4 and we'll add a bunch of tanker cars to 240 capacity for a total train for $2.6 million. I have reduced the production on the amount of oil getting shipped over here. We should be okay with that. I would like to duplicate this train. Actually, I'm going to duplicate it twice, and you'll see why in just a minute. And that was 3 times. Way to go, Ralph. All right, let's sell one of them off. Sell this one off. And as far as train number 1, it's just going to be relabeled something else. And as far as train number 2, it's going to move out on to line 11, Miramar to Alexandria. All right, now we have a train going out to Alexandria. Now, the only thing I need to ensure with this particular line 11 is that it is going to not pick up a full load at Locust Street, just one particular item. The bricks or the construction, I think, will be good there. I don't think there's any changes necessary. Let's look at my financing, because I'm awful concerned now that we're losing $23.8 million right now. So what is going on over here? Alrighty, let's sort this by lines. Actually, I need to go the other way. What lines are losing us money and why is it? Looks like the Des Moines fuel delivery is losing us money. Okay, I'm not going to address these issues right now, especially the trains are losing us 1, 3, 4, almost $500 million just in trains alone are losing us money. Here's the Durham goods factory, okay? Goods is going to be one of the biggest challenges of Transport Fever in this episode. If we take a look, we have 348 plastic and no steel. At one point, I had this factory going and I shut it down for whatever reason, don't remember. Let's see how we can get plastic and steel over here. I think it would be the best option to just start with the easiest at this point, and that would be the Lakewood Steel Mill. If we open this up on line 21, it looks like there's 80 being transported. Let's manage line really quickly, and let's see where this is going. Okay, so this is actually heading over to the Fort Lauderdale machine factory. I want to set up another line and have it drop off at the train. Let's work on that. I was able to set up the line. Let's get a vehicle out here. But before we get the vehicle, let me show you something really fast. If we zoom down here and we take a look, we just had tools picked up here in Fort Lauderdale to be dropped off within the city. That's the second shipment. It looks like they have one tool. That is good news, actually. So I've created the line to go from the Lakewood Steel Mill down here. Let's go put some vehicles on the line. I'm going to get one of these or a couple of these trucks which can handle steel. I'll get 3 of them for now, and it can go out on line 38, Lakewood Steel to Adams Street. Adams Street is now our new cargo hub here in Fort Lauderdale. Here's something very interesting. This train is losing us $2.2 million, right? This is the train that I just set up from Miramar to Alexandria. It's not picking up anything. And I'm hoping that when it gets into the Miramar station, at least picks up some of the construction material that's sitting on the platform. This time it picked up some construction material, not very much. Which begs the question is, what's going on over in Alexandria that's causing this train not to pick up? Let's find out. I like the cargo station. Everything looks to be pretty well highlighted. Now, it does look like they're getting some construction material. They got 11 with that drop off. I'm perfectly happy with that. Okay, so it looks like road vehicle 116 is going to finally pick up some steel and drop off at the train terminal. We'll finally have some steel on that platform heading over to Durham. Oh, this is exciting news. We now have actual steel sitting on the Fort Lauderdale train platform. Now we need to figure out how we're going to get plastics. Okay, so options here is that we have the Carlsbad oil well to the Carrollton oil refinery to the Carrollton chemical plant, which is the same as plastics. We do have oil sitting here. However, if I was going to go that route, I would just go over back to Carrollton and just use these in line and then figure out how to ship it down. And I guess that is the best option, unfortunately, at this point. So let me get that set up, and then I will return, and we'll continue on, and we'll get some goods. Guess I'm going to just place the train depot right here and go ahead and buy a train. This is going to be probably the simplest train I've ever bought in Transport Fever 2. We will go with the EMD. Actually, no, we're going to change it up. We're going to go with the Alco HH600. It's only $1.6 million. It's very small. And we're just going to get ourselves a capacity of, say, 84. Let's just do 96 capacity for $6.1 million. And we'll just assign a random number like this. Good enough. Let's go ahead and put it out on line number 40, which I forgot to name, but I will get to that here in just a moment. And here comes our freight train. 3151 is heading out to pick up oil. And stations are not very long. I wasn't planning on having anything too extreme considering all we're doing is trying to get plastic developed. Added a second train to this line because I really want to get this up and running here sooner than later. So it's going to be 3152 since it's on the same track setup. And if we take a look at our oil well, it can produce up to 600. It's shipping 400 of the 600 right now. If we take a look at our actual oil refinery, it's having, right now currently there's 24 on the platform. And currently if we take a look at the chemical plant, it has only 2 in stock at this time. It's going to be a few minutes, but I will return as soon as it's at 100% capacity and we'll figure out the rest. Looks like we have a road coming out of Carrollton and it looks like we can connect it to Huntsville. However, there's no way, actually there is a road going through the mountainside. This is going to cost a fortune, ladies and gentlemen, to make this work. However, I could do to make it a little bit more simpler is I can try to fit a road across here. Let's try that. Just get one of these roads. It can be a straight road and it can come straight across to there. Works for me. And then what I can do is make a curve road and just kind of curve it so we have our road now in place and we can go all the way down through Huntsville, go through the mountain, go through Durham and back to the goods factory. Wouldn't mind to leave some suggestions in the comments below. How should I do this? Do you want to see an aircraft be put in and shipped it that way? So an aircraft between Carrollton and Durham? Or do you want to see road vehicles out on this line? Just let me know whichever way, or if you have any other suggestions. I'd even be willing to expand the train if you want. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope to see you in the next episode. And until then, goodbye.